going to hit, there's 20 flags down there and there's 10 flags here. You're going to hit 2 pitch shots, each from one shot from a different flag. So every time you're down there, you'll remove 2 flags. You'll take on 2 challenges, hitting 2 pitch shots. Arick's going to measure 2 things. He's going to measure the proximity that the ball is from the hole, so we can work out some data, strokes gained data. He's also going to measure the tempo of your swing. Because we noticed yesterday when you were on the course, when you were more engaged in the feel of the practice swing and going into the ball, the tempo of your execution of the shot got better. But we can only see so much with our eyes, so we're going to measure that. Okay, so you're going to get 2 things from down there. You're going to get proximity to hole, and you're going to get your tempo of your swing. We're going to use the blast motion sensor on the end of your wedge to measure that. They're the 2 outcomes from down there. So every time, full process, hit the shot, that's the data that we'll come out with. Here, this is all about process. We're not going to measure proximity. We don't really care where the ball goes. What we want you doing is engaging in the routine in the environment of the golf course. And we've given you random shots. So here you'll hit 2 shots from each. So this one's 150. It goes all the way back to about 210, and then it starts to come back round. So you hit 2 pitches from there. We get data from blast and proximity. You come here and you work on your OSVEA. And then in A, what you do with the marker pen is after you've hit the shot, you grade how good the routine was. Awesome. So now 2 wedge shots. We'll remove this flag. That one's done. 2 wedge shots. Yeah, bring a ball as well.
Bring your rangefinder.
So still want engagement in the routine, but here we're going to measure your proximity. Good. Explain that to me, Arick.
They say what they've found with the best wedge players is the backswing time for all shots inside about 50 yards is 0.6, so 0.6 of a second, and it's 0.3 down the floor. Which practice swings 0.6, 0.62. Actual ball average is about 0.5.
So it's getting quicker.
Backswing gets quicker, downswing gets quicker. By a 1/10 of a second.
But that's a fair portion of, when you think how long it lasts, that's fair percentage, it's a fair portion. Okay, so a process goal based around that. Maybe after we collect some more data, we can make an intervention and. Oh, nearly got away with it. It nearly clung on. So, what was the target?
The first rig.
With the one with a lot of green on.
Yeah.
So you missed that by a long way.
Yeah, 1 mile away.
But you nearly got away with it because you picked a smart target. So that's. If we go back to number 3 yesterday, when you hit a really good iron shot, it just overdrew slightly from like what 220, 225, and you short-sided yourself. Here, I think that's only just rolled off the green, and you did give yourself big margin for error.
I shifted on that one selection. I went right at that with the first one.
Okay.
And then shifted a bit less than that.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Which is fine because, you know, how many feet have you missed it by? 60 feet? So you wouldn't really expect to hit it. Yeah. That's on the borderline of your proximity, so that's one of the poorest ones that you're going to hit. And I think when you get down there, you'll see it's just a basic chip from literally just off the green. But that shows how the less aggressive or more defensive strategy, it's not their poor words for it, it's really smarter.
Yeah. If I'd have picked my normal line, it would have been in them trees. It would have worked, because I'd have picked like, let's see where the green is on the tree.
Yeah.
And then the like small trees to the side of it.
Yeah.
I'd have probably been starting more towards that. And
okay. So great. So you've got a basic chip rather than taking a drop out of the trees. All strategically based. That's good. How was the process?
Good.
Good, yeah?
Slower, downswing slower.
In his practice swing.
Yeah.
He gets quick when he hits the ball.
Both, yeah, in both areas.
Yeah.
So it goes from what they say should be 0.6, 0.3.
Yeah.
It goes to 0.5, 0.25.
Okay.
So the ratio is good, 2 to 1, but the timing of it gets quick.
Yep.
And that's where I don't entirely know. Like, is it better to have that 2 to 1 mark consistently with pitching and chipping, or is it better to have the timing that they say all these good players have?
We'll find out. See if it makes any difference when we set it as a process goal.
Because that, to me, the cool thing is we can look at speed. So to me, which number was that? So number 4, so number 6. Number 4 was 40-yard shot. So practice swings were 33, 32, 32. From this distance, you can assume a smash factor of 1. So that would be a ball speed. So the distance, that would be how far these would carry.
Okay.
Okay. So he was trying to hit it, maybe land it about 30 some yards.
Yeah.
Let it roll to 40 yards. He actually hit it at 38 miles an hour. Produced a ball that went 10 yards past, because it was about 10 yards further. Does that make sense?
No.
So inside that distance, club speed, ball speed, carry distance are all basically the exact same.
Yep.
So if this had been, instead of 38 miles per hour.
We'll go one forward, Scott.
So instead of this being 38 miles an hour, which
Yep.
basically carried the distance you wanted it
Okay.
to finish,
Got you.
if it had been 32, it would have been.
So, and that's representative on all the other shots, they're all going past. Nothing has come up short yet.
Correct.
So, if nothing has come up
So
short,
to me, that's why the timing of it makes more sense than necessarily the
I
2 to 1.
that's what I think.
Yeah.
I think if it slows down, there's less speed, there goes less distance.
He's hitting the mark
It's
he's trying to
softer.
hit versus carrying.
But he's hitting it with his practice swing,
Yes.
and then he's missing it when the ball comes in there. Maybe, the ball changes the motor pattern, so increased tension, increased anxiety, increased tension, it all leads. It's the same old. The
What do you think
muscles
of
just
the-
operate slightly differently.
Yeah, you think of the drill I had you do with pitching. Big and slow.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be kind of the feeling.
Yeah.
Those were more for finesse shots.
This to me is pretty good now. Here.
Yeah, the quality of the strike is awesome.
Yeah.
Condition-wise, it's pretty tough.
It's tough, yeah. So everything is fine. We'll set him a process goal down here, and then when I work with him, I'm gonna do tempo and tension stuff. That's a really good shot. Be the number.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
I actually know what that is.
That was nice. Very good. This is really testing. After what we've seen in this, you're going to do an on-course game this afternoon on your own before you see Matthew on the practice range this evening. So we're going to build that game based on this. I have an idea, and I'm sure Arick has an idea, but we'll build that game based on everything that we see here. But what we want to do is, while we're in this testing environment, I want to give you a process goal to see if we can change the data. So Arick, can you explain what we saw on Blast? Because I'm not as articulate with it as you.
So, what they've found when they've measured, basically a lot of guys in the PGA Tour are the best wedge players, is the time in the backswing is consistent, basically across the board, from any shot inside basically 10 to 50 yards, and it's about 0.6 seconds. Your practice swings, luckily, usually it doesn't measure practice swings, but it picked up a couple when you hit the ground. Your practice swings are all right around that mark, 0.6, 0.62. So it's spot on with what they say it should be. And then all the shots that we've gotten where you actually hit the ball, it goes to about 0.53. So it gets a little bit quicker, and then the same happens in the downswing.
And
The difference between the practice swing and the downswing, it's a tenth of a second, which isn't much, but in a golf swing it's a lot.
Yeah, but that goes along with what it'd feel like.
and it goes along with what's happening, because every shot's going past.
And so it also, the nice thing, it measures club speed, and inside that 40-yard mark, club speed, smash factor is usually about 1. So the club speed, the ball speed, and the carry distance are always going to be about the same.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to hit it 30 yards, you're swinging at about 30 miles an hour, it's going to carry about 30 yards.
Okay.
Your practice swings on one of the 40-yard shots were about 32.
Okay.
So the ball would have carried 32 and rolled to that 40,
Okay.
where the one you actually hit was 38. So it basically carried to the pin and then rolled out 30 feet. So that difference in 8 miles an hour is the difference between the 30-foot putt and the 6-foot putt.
Yeah.
So what we've seen with our eyes, this is quantified. So really a process goal can be as simple as, when you execute the shot, it's just a little slower.
Yeah.
Okay? So we're trying to make it feel like the practice swing up there. Here you might have to make it feel slightly slower than the practice swing for it to feel like the practice swing.
Yeah.
But ultimately, just with your execution, Just make that execution a little slower.
Yeah. I've had in the past, like just myself, with wedges, I've had a sense, maybe not so much backswing, but on the downswing, definitely a sense of like waiting for it, and that's when I've pitched the best, really.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So
like feeling like I let the club like do what it's got to do itself, sort of thing, and then just go with it.
So if that's what that means to you, try it. But what we'll do is we'll continue in this test, but now you have a process goal. Okay? The process goal is to feel, and then whatever it is that you need to feel, to just slow down that execution slightly, and we can measure it for you. This is where if we ask him to reflect, we can help him. Okay, what was that? Explain that. And talking aloud. If we weren't measuring so much stuff, I might break away and get him to hit some talking out loud here.
Yeah. 0.56. So much closer to that.
What did you feel?
Like backswing just wasn't like rushed, and then just waited for it on downswing.
How did the strike feel?
Better.
Closer to it in the landing zone?
Pretty much where I wanted landed, I just didn't get enough check on it.
Okay. So I feel like we might be onto something to help with your proximities.
Anyway.
So it feels better, Scott,
Yeah.
because you hit the numbers there.
Yeah. That's the shot that I'm visualising to it.
Yeah.
And I don't should come off the club and everything. That's what's happening now. Whereas before it's like I catch a bit thin or it just worked right. It felt like a bit rushed, and then when you said it, it's like
But we couldn't see it. Like to your process goal. Yeah, your process goal is okay. My practice swing and my main swing are going to feel the same, and you think that you're achieving that, and this says how much.
About a tenth of a second.
So this picks up that you're a tenth of a second out. So we put the process goal in of you trying to feel even slower. You say the strike's better.
Yeah, loads better.
It's coming off lower as well, isn't it?
That's how I visualise it, but it's the strike.
Awesome.
Close to going in that hole.
That's the first one that's been under the hole.
Yeah.
And that's representative of the process goal. That's representative of the change that we've made from the data that's coming from Blast. So all of this is, I think all of this is really positive.
Yeah, big time.
So in tournament,
along a bit with like I said to you before, like a feeling I've had in the past of like the support letting it come in front of me, but then I've obviously not used it.
Yeah, because you get away from things, don't you? Hey, you know what will be interesting? When we do the strokes gained pre-setting the process goal, and then we do the strokes gained after the process goal. Arick, will you be able to do that? Strokes gained before we set the process goal, and strokes gained after.
Yeah, we just have to